Well, you know, in this day and age, it's all the rage to let off steam at tantrum clubs, taking anger management to a whole new level. These tantrum parties involve women of all ages getting together to kick up their heels and vent their frustrations, from shouting en masse to bashing beanbags with a cricket bat.
But recent studies from the US show people who do let it all out on rant websites actually end up feeling more resentful.
So the next time something makes your blood boil, should you chuck a tanty or keep you cool? Psychologist and communications expert Clare Mann joins us with more on this. Clare, good morning to you. Nice to see you. What are the warning signs? You're not just in a bad mood, but your anger actually is a serious problem.
Absolutely. Well, let's identify what anger is first. Anger seems to occur when something you value or are denied is violated in some sort of way. So if you've got a bit of an off mood, you're feeling a bit down, there isn't the physiological change in the body, the blood boiling, the heart rate going up, the shallow breathing, that accompanies being in a very angry mood.
Okay, so when can anger be a serious problem?
Well, when it has an effect on your own life is even in danger perhaps, but also on other people. So if we're not in control of the rising levels of emotion that come up in our bodies, we can lash out at other people, we can say things we don't mean at the time, but of course at the other end of the scale we can actually hit out at people. It has criminal sort of implications of that.
These tantrum clubs, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm sure sometimes people really want to let off steam. It's important. In fact, some therapists actually, when they're working in trying to solve the bigger issue with a client, they will give them cushions to bash.
Really?
So it can be a therapy in itself. But I think in a tantrum club, if they're doing that without looking at the cause of the problem and just dealing with a symptom, it's not necessarily going to go away.
Yeah. Is there a quick fix for someone who does have a short fuse? Because some people have shorter fuses than others.
Indeed. But I always say, if the response of the angry person, or the response is out of proportion to the threat, then there is something bigger amiss, sort of thing. There's a trigger being pushed or a button being pressed, and it's important to look behind what is the cause and not just the symptom. However, in terms of what can we do in the immediate thing, people often need to remove themselves from the situation before they cause more damage.
Clare, why don't we run through some practical tips to keep our temper in check?
Indeed. The power is always in the breath, so slowing down your breathing, taking a deep breath, and taking time out, of course. Learning to self-soothe is absolutely essential. That sort of internal pep talk, it's going to be okay, let me just remove myself from here. And there's a difference between being assertive and aggressive. Assertiveness is where you state what is important but don't abuse the other person. Aggressiveness is when we lose control of the anger and really focus on solutions.
Okay, a survey shows across the country 88% of drivers, so when you're behind the wheel, say they've been a victim of road rage, what should you do if you're the target of somebody else's anger? So you're not the one that's angry, but someone's going off at you. Absolutely.
Well, what you don't want to do is to incite their anger anymore. The worst thing we can say to someone is calm down. Okay? I think we've talked about this before, but physiological things happen in the brain. The blood, when we're in an angry sort of mood, moves from the front of the brain, the frontal cortex, where we can be logical, to the back of the brain, the reptilian brain. So we're unable to access sort of good decision-making skills. So if you incite somebody to be more angry by sort of saying, oh, calm down, it's not so important, the person's getting angrier and angrier. As always, we change ourselves, we change other people. So by calming ourselves, we got a better chance of calming them.
Has flipping someone the bird in traffic ever solved anything?
Has done what?
You know, just putting your... I can't remember, like that. Have you ever done anything?
Oh, I've never heard that term. You teach me everybody teaches. I must be very naive. What do you think?
No, absolutely not. It's the first response, isn't it?
It's absolutely.
Clare. And don't take that personally. That was just merely a demonstration for you.
Of course.
Is it just a personality makeup, though, of some people? Like, can some people not help but be angry? Or?
Well, it comes back to this situation about responsibility again, isn't it? We can always blame our hormones, our personality, our parents. We need to take responsibility. But some people perhaps a bit more predisposed to respond quickly as opposed to being more reflective and laid back.
Right. Clare, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clare.
Remember, if you're stuck in traffic, don't do that to people.
He's giving the peace sign, like peace.